Hi, welcome. We're looking at this particular question, question number 18. In order to solve this question, we need to use some trig. I know that we need to use some trig because I have a right triangle and I have two sides and an angle. Whenever you're faced with a right triangle where you have information about two of the sides and one of the angles, you can use trigonometry to help you find the measures of other things. Let's recap what our trigonometric ratios are. We have the sine of an angle is equal to the side opposite the angle divided by the hypotenuse. We have the cosine of the angle, which is equal to the side adjacent to the angle divided by the hypotenuse of the triangle. And then we have the tangent of the angle, which is equal to the side opposite the angle divided by the side adjacent to the angle. Looking at my triangle, I notice that I have information about this angle right here. I know that it's 60 degrees. With this angle being 60 degrees, this side is adjacent to it because it's the one that's next to the angle, but is not the hypotenuse. So this angle, or excuse me, this side is adjacent to the angle that I have information about. In all right triangles, across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and so this side is the hypotenuse. And I've labeled everything that I have some sort of information on, even if that information is an unknown variable. So looking at my sine, cosine, and my sine, cosine, and tangent ratios, I'm going to figure out which one I have information on. That would be cosine. I have information on cosine because I have information about the side adjacent to the angle, and I have information about the hypotenuse of the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that trig function out here, where I have a bit more room to work with it. And now I'm going to substitute the information that I know. I know that the measure of theta is 60 degrees. I know that the side adjacent to theta is the variable x, which is what we'll be solving for. And I know that the measure of the hypotenuse is 9. And now my only variable is this variable x. And I want to get x by itself. If I look at what's happening to x right now, I notice that it's being divided by 9. If I'm trying to get rid of a division by 9, the best thing to do is for me to multiply it by 9. In an equation, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. That's going to leave us with just an x on the right-hand side of the equation, and the left-hand side can be rewritten as 9 times the cosine of 60. You don't necessarily need to write the parentheses, though you're welcome to if you'd like to. You don't have to when we're dealing with trig functions. All right, I'm going to pull out my Inspire calculator again, and we're going to go ahead and push the buttons so that we can get a value for x. Again, using my trig menu down here by the number 7 is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to type it in exactly the way I wrote it here because the TI Inspire is very good about using this notation, which is what we write with. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So 9, and then into the trig menu, and I'm going to select just cosine. Enter. And then in the parentheses, I'm going to type in 60. My calculator is already set to degree mode, so I know I'm not going to have any problems with the calculation, nor do I have to use the symbol in there to tell it it's in degrees. I hit enter, and my value for x is calculated for me at 4.5.